Yes, good morning, live from Van Cortlandt Park. It's the beginning of Lent. It's March 1st. The sun is shining. I guess we can begin to say we've had a mild winter. Today, I wanted to speak on the importance of Lent and religion in one's life. It's There's a mystery of why things happen, beginning from our genetic dispositions, our genetic birth, our DNA, the entire process of birth, the coming together of man and woman to conceive a child. Just an amazing phenomenon. There's the death, and there's the things that happen in between. For the seculars, at their best, volition, choice, free will, self determination, consensus, what's right and compared to wrong. So, yes, it's this big rationalization, if you will, or even intuition, I'd give the secular, that sort of can objectify and well define exactly what our human experience is. My thing with taking to the faith is that there are gray areas. Gray areas. However, that's just half of it. The other thing is that the very human nature, my human nature, that of the same secular and atheist and agnostic, is that I have this potential, this intuition, this need for ritual and myth and mysticism and esoteric experiences. We know that from altered states of consciousness, God knows I know. And we know that from spiritual practices, spiritual in the way a secular may define it, if they may. That is compassionate service, engaging in nature, meditation, self-talk, reflection. The result of such experiences of touching humanity, if you will, in a graceful, peaceful, words that have to do with what we call spirit, sort of implies or also supports the fact that faith is the evidence of things, the evidence of things not seen and the substance of things hoped for. So that maybe those with religious conviction or a desire to understand the God and communicate with God are just predisposed even or in tune with the fact that my mind is not going to define this reality. Even the best utopian, socialist, communist, whatever, a society governed by best reasons where everyone has national health care and quality of life and all of this as designed by seculars, you're still left with waking up in the morning to the sun and going to bed to the moonlight. You're left to a dream world. You're left to understand why your heart beats to certain rhythms of music, of nature, of love, of sharing, caring. That beat, that humble, quiet beat that leads us to march on from birth to death. Maybe it was here long before we arrived in the flesh. It remains beating long after we are gone. So for the energist, the creativist, the creationist, the ones who want to believe that there is something to believe but don't want to give to religion, I leave you with this. Men and women of the cloth, men and women who take to spiritual practices, men and women who take time to pray, fast, study, create. There is some divine wisdom in that practice. And that is a secular choice, to wish to practice faith or religion simply because, like any other tool of life, it just makes sense, right? So as we trudge on this human experience, jogging as we will, I give you man on the road. Two roads diverge in the woods, and I've joined the 1.2 billion Catholics this season of Lent for a march to freedom and a glimpse of heaven. Take care. Peace. March 1st, 2020. Vaya con Dios. Happy Lenten season.